Hey, welcome back, my skate children. Yes, Skate Daddy is back to review the 480 with probably my dadliest backdrop that I've ever had. A quick disclaimer, you guys, I did get these shoes sent to me for free from Tactics. And if you're looking for a way to support the channel, you can consider making your skate purchases through the link in the video description. Okay, the first thing that I want to talk about is the fit. So I think they fit true to size and length. This is a 10.5, which is what I wear in almost every other brand. I also think that they fit a little bit narrow in this part, the arch. I know some people with some kind of wide feet and wide arches that have said the 480 just doesn't work for them. And I'd say it fits maybe a little bit more narrow just down the back of the heel with enough room in the toe box that it's comfortable, but not so much room that my foot slides around. And this is really rare for me with New Balance. I have ignored New Balance and I've written them off because I felt like almost every model was for feet that were much wider than mine. I always had my foot sliding around in the toe box and I'd have to cinch them up until they looked stupid, you know, like you crush your shoe like this. So I haven't had to do that with these. I laced them up when they were new. What I did have to do was put them up to the top lace hole in order to not get heel slip because the leather here was a little bit slippery at first, for sure. But once I laced them up to the top, it wasn't a problem. Fits true to size, narrower than most New Balance models, but still not so narrow that it's gonna be crushing your foot. At least not my fairly small foot. Okay, the break-in time in these shoes. They feel really stiff at first, and also this is an all leather model. I've never had any other models of this shoe. Let me know in the comments, you guys, what you've noticed in the difference between the leather models and the suede models in terms of break-in is. But I would say this took about a week to actually break in and start feeling more supple. It was really stiff at first, which in some ways I liked, but I also just didn't feel too connected to the board. I do believe this has a full midsole from back to front. It's gonna make you feel a little bit taller on the board. It's gonna make it feel a little bit deadened. So a lack of board feel, especially compared to something like a Vulk shoe or something, you know, there's a lot of cup soles that don't have midsoles. And those are those cup soles where you feel really connected to the board. You can skate well on the first day you wear them. There's like almost no break-in time. These aren't like that. This shoe is a slow burn for sure. Don't judge it on the first day or even in the first week because it will take a while. All right, next, impact protection. Because it has that full midsole and that lack of board feel, at least initially, it also has actually really good impact protection. Now, I don't jump down stuff. My knees, like I've torn my meniscus twice. I don't have enough knee left to do that, but I have landed primo in these savagely. Every one of them, I thought, oh, this one's gonna hurt. This is gonna be bad. And then just, 10, 20 seconds later, I'm like, oh, it's fine. So the impact protection, in my opinion, is really good on these. I've had no severe primos, even though I've landed horribly a few times. And next, we gotta get into flicks. How does the shoe flick? So I would say decently at first. Let me get the other one. It's a little less worn down. This is my switch foot. And you can see that the rubber is kind of tall. It's actually hard to tell because the sole's getting worn down, but the rubber around here is pretty tall. I would say it seems to be at least a few mils taller than something like a Dunk, but it doesn't stick out so much in width. It's a little bit closer to the wall of the shoe. So I found I was able to get really good kick flips. Some of my other tricks like frontside flips were a little bit harder until this started to wear out. And now at this point, with the shoe being super worn out, I'm doing my best frontside flips and backside flips. I'm not even gonna tell you how long I've been skating these yet. I'm gonna save that till a little bit later. But what I would say is I think the flicks, because the rubber is so tall, are a little bit clumsy at first and they get better over time. It took about 3 weeks until the flicks really started to feel perfect in these shoes. And it's changed very little over the course of skating it. And I said I was gonna say it a lot later, but no, let's just get into it because on my list I wrote down right here, durability is actually the next topic. So I've been skating these, believe it or not, for 2.5 months, which is the longest I have had any skate shoe in rotation since starting the channel. I've been skating a little bit less than I used to, but still, I put these on in the beginning of August, like August 1st, and it's now October 14th, and they're only this worn out. That's my switch foot, that's the sole, regular foot. It definitely requires some shoe goo. I did the shoe goo maybe, I don't know, a few weeks ago, just to nurse them along, because this part will split and then they do fall apart if you're not careful. But you know, like, that's pretty good. 2.5 months is a long time. I also didn't talk about heel flips. So the heel flips are really consistent. There isn't really anything here to get in the way. They got nice rubber on the heel. It grabs really well. And it's really easy to boost a nice heel flip in these shoes. And it stays the same throughout the entire life of the shoe. But heel flips usually do. So either you like the shoe for heel flips or you don't, because it's generally going to stay the same the whole way through. Okay, now there are some cons to these shoes. So what did I write down here? I'd say it's maybe too narrow for some people, for sure. Like, the fact that it works for me is why some people won't like it. The next one is the heel slip unless laced up fully. To me, that is kind of a con. That's partly due to the fact that there's not a ton of padding around the heel, but that's also a benefit because, in my opinion, you feel more connected to the board when doing a lot of certain ollie and heel flip tricks when you don't have such a puffy padded collar. Again, just lace it up all the way. You'll be fine. Another con that I noticed was, I would say they feel a little bit tall at first. I may have talked about that, but you know, that's what you're going to get for a nice durable sole with a midsole and a pretty decent insole in here. I've actually never taken it out and looked at it. It's maybe a tiny bit softer than I like. It's firm in the heel. It feels, I have no idea. I don't really care. I'm not an insole guy. I'm one of those people that will only skate stock insoles. If I don't like the stock insole, I pretty much won't skate the shoe. I just don't like changing it. Same as bushings. If I don't like the stock bushings for a truck, I won't skate the truck. It's just one of those things. I'm trying to reduce madness where I can. All right, the next con on my list is just the bulky toe rubber. We did cover it, but I do think that is kind of a bit of a con, right? Like, it took 3 weeks before I really started to feel like I could skate to my best in these shoes. But on the other hand, it wasn't like I couldn't skate, and it means that in terms of getting value for money, like, incredibly durable shoe. So some of these cons are also positives, right? Takes a while to break in, but lasts forever and feels good for the whole rest of the shoe once it breaks in. All right, another con would be, I think the suede models tend to wear out faster and lose rigidity a little faster. Maybe one of the reasons I'm so evangelical about the shoes is because I got the leather ones, which stay so nice and stiff, which is what I like. I like a nice stiff shoe. And I've always been a fan of leather shoes. Some people don't like them, but I love a good leather shoe. Okay, next con is this design inherently fails quickly, especially in suede models, but you get that toe slit. I mean, it happens on Dunks, it happens on any shoe that has this design of toe, right? As soon as it starts to get a bit of wear, this part slits and then it starts flopping around. So the instant you notice that, start shoe gooing it and you're going to extend the life of your shoes a lot. All right, now this next one might actually be, in my opinion, the biggest con of the shoes in general. So that is that none of the panels seem to be glued together. So once those stitches wear out, it can just let go. Now when my foot's in here, it's holding everything where it should be. It's not a problem, but I would say when you first start skating these shoes, it's not a bad idea to super glue the stitching. When this starts to happen, it's not a bad idea to put a little bit of shoe glue under there and put it back together. The N, the logo, falls off really easily. So, you know, it's only got one row of stitching, and as soon as that stitching wears off, the N starts to flap off. So definitely the fact that there's no glue in between any of these, like so right here, the heel panels, all of those can separate. Again, when my foot's in there, it's not a problem, but I do think a shoe that feels this premium, right? Like, you know, it shouldn't separate like this just because the stitching has been worn through. It is a skate shoe after all, right? It's 2024. We know that skate shoes wear out. I do think that there should be some glue holding a lot of these panels together. So that, I would say, is the biggest con and the biggest thing that makes this shoe stop feeling and looking as premium as it is. So that's my suggestion to New Balance, is glue your panels together. So that's about all I have to say about the shoe. Even at 2.5 months and the fact that some of these panels are separating, like I said, as soon as my foot's in here, it's solid. There's still lots of life left in these shoes. I'm gonna keep skating them for probably another 1 to 2 weeks at least. But I'd say I could probably get another 3 to 4 out of them if I really want. I've been pretty surprised in how much I like these. Like I said, because of the fit problems that I had before, I had written off New Balance, but these ones have definitely been my favorite shoe in a long time. And I've had shoe madness for like 2 years now. I haven't been able to find shoes that tick all the boxes, but these ones, like, let's tick the boxes. They're comfortable, they fit properly, they skate well, they're durable, and last but absolutely not least, they're a really good looking shoe in my opinion. You know, like, I'd say they come close to rivaling the Dunk. Close. Yeah, to be honest, I actually really like the way Dunks look, but they got too popular and then I feel kind of cringy wearing them. But I don't feel the same about these. I feel like I can settle into my dadness with the N on my feet. Anyways, yeah, it took the Laker colorway to finally get me into a pair of New Balance. I love purple and yellow shoes. I like the basketball in the insole, even though I don't play basketball and I don't care about the Lakers. I just love the purple and yellow. Like, I think it's such a good combo. Yeah, that's all I have to say, you guys. I hope you're doing really well. I'm done. I don't really have anything more to say, except I know what you're saying in the comments. V8s, 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 V8s. Yes, I am actually going to do that. So coming soon. But then I probably won't post any more videos for like 2 months. Okay, till the next one, you guys. Bye-bye.